Hi folks, Van Prepper here with Joe from Central New York Freedom Alliance. This is going to be the second installment of my Faces of Freedom interview series, and we're going to ask Joe some questions. How you doing, Joe?
Good. Yourself?
Very well, thank you. My first question is, how did you get involved with Central New York Freedom Alliance?
A friend of mine actually started up the group as a different approach to get different people involved in the Anti-Safe Act, anti-Cuomo movement, more or less targeting church groups, teacher groups, different people other than gun owners to rally more votes against Cuomo. And I was more than willing to help him out, so I jumped in and took the reins in the Central New York area for him.
Excellent, excellent. Tell us a little bit about any events you might have coming up, things you got going on.
Well, we're a fairly new group. We're starting small with things like this. We're doing a benefit today for a soldier and his family to raise money for, his wife that got a rare form of cancer, and luckily she pulled through it. So we're going to start small with events like this and sort of rally the troops, so to speak, to build some bigger events, maybe have some forums and rallies in the future.
What do you see as the biggest threat to our Second Amendment rights or freedoms in general?
The biggest threat right now would be uninformed voters and people that are just, the people that believe CNN and MSNBC that actually think that guns are the problem and refuse to address the mental health issues, the bad parenting issues, and other issues that lead to violence rather than guns. The guns are just a tool. There's a bigger problem that needs to be addressed.
Okay, now I assume because you're involved with Central New York Freedom Alliance that you speak to people frequently trying to engage in this battle for the hearts and minds of our friends and our neighbors. What advice would you give somebody who is looking for some advice on how to talk to their friends and their neighbors about some of these issues?
I'd say ease into it. A lot of people don't realize that without the Second Amendment, the rest of our rights are gone. But give them examples about how they're not going to take all our rights away from us. They're not going to strip the Constitution from us in one fell swoop. They're going to chip away at it gradually, a little bit at a time, and there's too many people that are willing to sit back and accept it as, well, the government's saying it's good for us, so that's what we need to do. They need to ease people into the whole thing and finally wake them up and get them to realize that once our rights start falling little by little, they're all going to be gone eventually.
Excellent advice. And finally, I think I know how you're going to answer this, Joe. What do you think of the SAFE Act?
I think the SAFE Act, there's parts of it that are okay. The extended prison sentences for people that shoot first responders, firemen, policemen, stuff like that. I think that part's great. The rest of it is total garbage. The only thing the SAFE Act does is disarm innocent people. It turns legal gun owners into criminals instantly, and it emboldens the real criminals. If we don't have the firepower to defend ourselves, then they run the show pretty much.
I agree, Joe. Thank you very much. This has been Joe from Central New York Freedom Alliance. I'm going to put a link to their Facebook page in the description of the video. Check them out. Thank you very much. I'm Van Prepper. Happy shooting, everybody.